Alrighty. Yeah. Jazz hands, are you Vikering right now?
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back.
And for some of you, this is your third time watching us talk about this today. We talked about it for 5 minutes, for 20 minutes, and now for 2 hours. It escalates. Yes, do check out our spoiler-free review. So this will obviously be, Stuart, a very, very, very spoiler-filled review. There could not be a more spoiler-filled version of this review than this right now. For the non-spoiler, that exists, and the nice compact edited one as well. But this is the live show version with all of the details, all of the things.
Didn't you have the other edited ones scheduled to premiere right at 5 o'clock too?
That didn't mean to, because that'd be
Okay.
stupid. It was maybe about an hour earlier than it was anyway, so it was just a weird, glitchy thing.
I saw it and I'm like, that's an odd choice.
It's very odd. Makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, guys. We got Lower Decks back, and let's welcome that back as well. Yay! So hopefully we get some good viewers in here, and you guys are willing to talk about your thoughts on this episode. But
yeah, we rely on you guys, as you know. And obviously this year, Lower Decks actually streams internationally. Not on the same day, but a day later. And I've been able to watch it on Amazon Prime today, so I know that every UK person can have watched it, as well as other countries. So theoretically, our viewership should be greater than last year, and a year of being on Blu-ray as well to get people excited. So hopefully, all the Lower Decks fans will come out, because we're Lower Decks fans, and we don't know why you aren't either.
Should be.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
Lower Decks, spirit, teamwork, and community. Yes. Yeah, okay, well, go ahead and share. I'll talk to these people while we get some more people in here.
Alrighty then. I'll see you in a moment.
Okay. 26 of you here, 24 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. By all means, it'll help us out. It's a free way to support the channel. You can also send super chats. Super chats are a great way to get your voice. Stuff on my shirt. So by all means, if you can super chat, please consider doing so. Also, there's a join button down beside the subscribe button. First of all, make sure you're subscribed. Second of all, if you want to click the join button and just check out how much a monthly membership might be, if you can only afford like $5 a month, that actually helps out a great deal if you don't want to super chat. So you can consider joining the channel. There's different tiers there, so it kind of fits everybody's price range. And if you also want to help us on another monthly basis or a different way, you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards and do that there. We do accept PayPal as well. It's just send the PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com. The description of every video has that information. So if you do that, just make sure you let us know in the regular chat that you have sent that along to PayPal, and we'll read your comment or question via the email for that. So we'll check that. Other than that, guys, there's a Teespring store down there in the description. Also a TeePublic store. Some really great Trekyards merch. They recently had a sale, 35% off, which I believe is done right now. But if you want to check out the Trekyards merch, they have regular sales pretty much every month. So if you just want to select something that you might be interested in Trekyards wise, and then wait until we announce that there's a sale going on, you can maybe scoop it up then. So lots of great ways to support the channel and help us out if you guys want to. Another great way is just to share this video around with anybody you think will enjoy it, and also make sure that you're commenting, talking, and enjoying the community that we have here on the lives, because it is a great community, and we do like you guys interacting with each other. So, all right. Ooh, Rude Chef is here, my buddy. Let's see. Oh my God, it was great. The bridge of the Miranda class was awesome. I need to watch the slow down scene when slow down the scene when she's escaping the crash into the other ships. Yeah. The other day, sorry, I just couldn't help you out that day. Anyway, that's not for you guys. That's just for Rude Chef. 38 people watching now, 30 likes. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, even if you're just here for a minute or two, as it really helps out the channel. And make sure you're subscribed, like I said, and click the notification bell icon to all, just so you get notified. All those things help out the algorithm, help out the channel, and are ways to support us without actually, super chatting if you don't want to or aren't able to. So, okay. Oh, and Stuart, the nacelles were blue on both sides. On this one, yes, absolutely. But yeah, and in the Reliant itself, they're just blue on the inside, or the inner grills, and they're actually a UV color. They're not actually blue, and the outer chiller grills are a flat matte black. But yeah, this is a TNG version of the ship, so absolutely. Really enjoyed it, but Ensign Mariner needs to be knocked down a peg or two. Well, that's the general consensus with the character that a lot of people think, so.
I'm back.
Oh my god, he's back. He needs to be knocked down a peg or two as well.
Oh.
There's one peg. Sweet. Snoopy McQueen throws in $5.
Thank you.
Good episode. Yeah, I would say good episode, not great per se. Somebody was doing a poll on Twitter, what would you grade this one? And I selected a B. It's not, it's better than a C. It's better than kind of just average, but it's not an A. It's not, I don't know. It wasn't the best way to maybe start off a season, but it's pretty good still. It's Lower Decks. So there you go. Well, let's start off with you. Like, what did you think of the episode overall when you saw it? Were you excited to see it, Samuel?
Although Ryan B. Davis says, are you planning to analyze the new details of the Cerritos? Prepped, filmed, edited, coming out tomorrow. Drop. There you go. So yes. Check it out tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, obviously, as I said in some other reviews, the problem with creating a good show is that you have higher expectations. Whereas Discovery, it was always a cluster F of, well, is it going to be good? I don't know, probably not. Oh, it's good. You know what I mean? And so going in, you're hoping for always the best, and it was good enough. It was fine. I think it was disproportionately focused on the Mariner mum subplot, where the God being element was just there to service that main plot, which in itself isn't a problem, but didn't have a satisfying payoff to that subplot. The Tendi thing wasn't particularly engaging. Like, it was okay, although I know some people have argued that makes her look like a terrible friend, and, going manic isn't really ever good, so she's certainly unstable to the nth degree. Not having Boimler in it for more than 5 seconds was a shame, because, we were promoted we were partially brought in towards this season thinking we're going to have some level of actual Titan connection, but if they're going to be scenes like this, then I feel horribly let down. Now, it's just a tease, but it could have at least been one more minute, because some sort of substance, because I had no substance that scene at all. But that said, the core focus, which was the Mariner mum stuff, was good, but very much an epilogue to last season rather than a great epic start to this season. And I've now watched it 3 times, and it got no better the second or third time. It's fine, it's good, it's decent. It's not a smash success, but they don't make many missteps, just more could have been better moments.
Yeah. As I kind of said earlier to you, I mean, missing almost. First couple minutes were fantastic, and then it just kind of slowed down. So I don't know. I liked it, but as far as a really good Lower Decks episode, it's just kind of And
obviously, you say the first bit was amazing, but it was just fan bait. Luckily,
exactly.
Luckily, the way the holodeck moment, the way the arch comes, that payoff is so good that it doesn't matter if it's pandering, because it isn't, because it all is a story moment. I honestly, I knew the third time I watched it, I knew the moment that it went off the rails, and I was enjoying it quite a lot up until the point where she washes the spinning ball of doom that creates the strange particles. Like, it goes so off the rails so quickly without any sort of provocation, and the visuals are so outlandish that it goes from being, Star Trekian to, more too much cartoon. That bar of being halfway just went clear, and it just became, a little bit too silly for me to really kind of not necessarily take it seriously, but be as involved, be as connective. Now I get why, but they could have, gone smaller and been more impactful,
Yeah, I suppose so. That being said, like this whole trope of somebody getting omnipotent powers or becoming godlike is kind of overdone anyway. So it
Mm.
tying in with the Mariner mom focus that ended the last season and kind of breaking that was interesting the way they did that because on its own it's not super interesting, that concept. It's happened many times as
Mm.
we saw with Gary Mitchell. Have you heard about Gary Mitchell? I think it. No, maybe. Okay. Our Lord and Savior, Gary Mitchell. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
that being said, Ransom probably one of the scariest godlike creatures we've had on Trek. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just it's good. It's good to have Trek back. It's good to have Lower Decks back. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited. And we got some really good ship stuff, which we love, and we're going to talk about at some point. We have videos coming up all week, so make sure you're subscribed and notified and all that, so you don't miss any of it. Because you know us, we like breaking this stuff down and showing you side by side comparisons. Because it's a lot to side by side.
Yeah, and I think it's
Um,
definitely one of those situations where we had to get past the initial reset button, as weird as that sounds. Because I was kind of hoping for more of a development of them, but they want to obviously skip to a point of new mutual stability. Um, but now we've got past that, and hopefully next week we can have a really strong Titan bit, and then
yeah,
strong. But I appreciate one of the things that they did get quite early on was the idea of the mum being maybe, well, definitely wanted to be out of this thing and do better things, and so that I think might be a payoff at some point.
yeah. I mean, the admiral said, you know, with the way things have been going, you're might be a promotion in your future in the next year to a capital ship, like get an actual good ship. And it seems like that's going to be her focus for this season to kind of maintain that course for herself. So it'll be interesting to see. Um, and Brian, yeah, it was more vibrant and more 3D in a way, and we'll talk about that in another episode where we compare um, things in the intro. So
But it's about 85% the same. It's just
yeah,
updated in some clever little ways.
yeah.
They could read some scene files. Do not worry.
66 people. Don't be afraid to super chat with your thoughts or ideas because we want to hear your thoughts as well. So we have something more to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
With
Mm-hmm.
these being shorter episodes, I mean, we do still talk for a while with these
Mm-hmm.
reviews, but like I said, this one doesn't feel like it has much to it. So
Although you have said
we'll
that
see how this
several other
goes.
episodes, because by the very nature
I
of them
know,
being
I
half
know.
the time, they obviously aren't going to have as much, and because they're episodic, there's not so much continuing narrative. Although this one actually has a lot of that, and that's part of the problem, ironically, because they could have done
Mm.
more with the ransom stuff, but also it was going to be a solid reset. Like I said to you, Bruce, I wish they'd had the Tendi Rutherford thing be intertwined with the God thing, give them all the purpose on the planet, have them all be feeling like a team. Although they, well, they explicitly said, or Marina does, my new best friend is my mum, and that's really sad. Which implies that really she isn't that good friends with the two of them. Which actually kind of tracks. Like, you think of them as a four, but they don't spend that much time together. They don't go and do side missions together. Boimler worked because Marina was like, oh, you'll be the next me. But she's not that close to them. Then they're just in the same zone. Which I never really considered, but I guess she is too much of a loner for those guys.
Yeah, I suppose so, but yeah, I guess. She just wants Boimler back, I guess, because he was the closest thing to a best friend she had. So,
Because why
but
wouldn't Tendi be a best friend over your mother?
yeah, I mean, because Tendy's kind of loopy at times,
Is
maybe.
not Mariner kind of looby sometimes?
Yeah, but maybe they're too much alike, so
Ah.
they tolerate each other, but they can't be best friends. So,
Mm.
um, but yeah,
Mark, that'd been fun. So should we jump into the first scene then, Stuart?
oh, yeah, might as well. Kardashian prison facility.
And if you want to repeat the comment you said to me earlier about cinematicness, that was a really good comment.
Oh yeah, the way this opens feels very cinematic, and just like the season 1 episode with Vindicta, which was a holodeck program done by Mariner. So I assume that anytime we see something Mariner based holodeck program wise, it's going to have this cinematic feel to it, which is a little bit different than the other parts of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I really kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be just kind of, if you notice it, just go, okay, it's a holodeck program.
Yeah, that was very
Something to look forward to.
that was a very astute observation, because I mean, I rewatched this like 30 minutes ago, and it is such a solid like, ooh, where are we gonna go sort of intro. Seeing the familiar galore and seeing a rather good base and everything just works out of the gate. And then the Kardashian is quite intimidating, although you realize on the second and third watching that nothing she says actually directly torturous. It just links to what Marina's saying. It's very interactive with Marina's just there to go through like, I'm sure she's done this a couple of times. She's just here to interact with it rather than it to play the role of the interrogator. Besides the initial 1 or 2 stabs, everything else they talk about is always related to Marina's present, which the Kardashian would be like, what are you on about? But they never say, what are you on about? It's all very, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting, it's almost like a meta thing.
And ironically, even though this is her exercise program, which I think is interesting, and probably have the same kind of exercise programs, why not train at the same time as you're exercising? But it also seems like a counseling session a bit for Mariner, because the Kardashian interrogator asks her, "Are you ready to talk?" And she's like, "Yeah, been working with him on for a couple of months, and it's kind of." So I mean, it's interesting because Mariner is kind of getting her counseling and her exercise at the same time, and her entertainment, I guess.
I mean, who best to talk to than a Kardashian torturer? I hear they're great listeners.
I love the whole "your captain is your mother." Yeah, everybody knows that. Keep up.
That's for the audience.
Yeah.
No, it's I had to do proof. I wish that it wasn't just a direct parallel of the other interrogation room, small thing, but that's okay. I don't quite buy how she escapes. It feels very random. I wish it was something a bit more clever, but it's meant to be very momentum-y, so don't think about it, move on sort of situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, it's a good little fight. Yes, there's deltas on her sneakers, on her goddamn workout sneakers. It's like, really? But of course,
and on her sweatbands on her arm.
Ah, yes.
But I mean,
that's what you expect.
Anyway, I love the Kardashian aesthetic. You got some, like you said, the interrogation room, and you also got the hallway, which is very reminiscent of DS9. And everything Kardashian's on point. The soldiers, the uniforms, the wall panels, the ships, the weapon. It's all awesome. So,
and it's great because it explains why really this is terribly easy. This Kardashian lady isn't struggling at all, really, and the guards just keep missing because she's not there to actually have a challenge. She's just there to go through the motions, and as you said, it's a workout program, so doing a 10k while in a fight, it must be in a fight to do the 10k.
But yeah, I mean, then we see Boimler in the hallway, and it's like, ooh, can you help me? No, I'm still mad at you. So did you do anything to the real Boimler? Like, were you intimidating at all? She's like, no. But when he said he's a hologram right away, it's like, yeah, okay, I know what's going on. So, but yeah, I love how he's like, they keep showing me lights. That's a good reference, guys. But yeah.
Yeah, and for me, this was a good little. It's really his only scene in the entire episode. A little bit of a shame, but that's okay. But it's good to remind us that yes, they're allowed to have full uniform. Yes, they're allowed to, as in the different uniform. It all kind of feels connected, etc. I didn't think when he said, I'm just a hologram, I thought that just meant maybe this was a trick. Yeah, I thought when he said I'm a hologram, I thought he was meaning I'm a trick of the Kardashians to make you stop. I didn't think it was all a holodeck explanation yet, because, what if she's in a prison with 5,000 decoys? Every 5 seconds they delay her. So I thought that was where they were going with that. But the fact that he knows it's a hologram also adds a complexity of, does that mean that everyone does she add this knowledge to everyone so that she can interact with them properly? Is this a regular Boimler that she deals with that she puts on many missions there in the holodeck, and this one she happened to pick. No, Boyms, you're in a prison this week. What? Yep, no, yep. Oh, so subtext. But yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She is bossy towards him. It's a good self-understanding moment.
And we get the escape, the gangway, and leading up to a Miranda-class ship, the USS Mcduff, which looks fantastically cool, I gotta say. And of course, we're going to focus on the ship in an episode. Don't worry, guys. We're going to talk about it. But it looked great and
very faithful, very Aztec-y. Probably too Aztec-y, but very nice. And to all of our surprises,
sorry, cut out there for a second.
They she beamed up into the bridge, full on the bridge. And we've seen lots of exteriors, you know, Olympic, etc. And even when they did the DS9 thing, they weren't really on DS9, you know, for the interior. But this is a proper, like, ooh, here we go, here it is, beautiful. I mean, you can't really beat it, can you?
No, and it's on point, 100%. Even the color of the chairs, everything looks so good, and it was just great to see, honestly. The irony of it being that we actually did the top 10 Enterprise bridges the day before. I was like, oh, this is the era I like. Awesome.
Yeah, I thought of
really,
you, Boo.
Really surprised to see it. Oh, did you? Oh, thanks, man. But yeah, no, it was good to see, and they definitely did it justice. They stayed faithful to what it should look like, and it's got upgraded engines. Obviously, it looks like TNG's obviously upgraded Miss Miranda, but they didn't mess with the inside. Like the LCARs on the inside are all area appropriate, and that's cool. It could be there's just Mariner that's picking and choosing what's in her ship or her holodeck program, but still, it's great to see.
She likes the vanilla version, which can't blame her. But does that mean that it's canon these ships stay as what they are? I don't know. It's a holodeck. They can get out of any... I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the guys on the gangway are like firing their disruptors at the ship, like that's going to do anything. But to see the bolter just blast and it feels so powerful from the Miranda, it was fantastic. It was great.
Well, they are sitting ducks, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice and beefy. Obviously, they destroy a Dominion bug ship. They destroy a Bajoran raider. And what's the third ship, Stuart?
Sorry, you cut out again. My internet. Bug ship and Bajoran ship.
What's the third ship, Stuart? They destroy?
The Romulan snipe from Starfleet's command games, which was great to see.
It's like a Trekyards Superjet snipe, but...
There you go. Yeah, I'm not sure why they came up with the name Mcduff for this ship, but hey, it's cool. The only Mcduff I remember is from TNG.
The fake one.
Mcduff.
Might be a reference that this isn't real, although you can't tell until they get out of the station.
That's interesting, actually. That's a very good point.
But yeah, as they zoom up, you see horribly out of scale ships, and yes, we'll do a full episode on that. But it's like, what ships the team like? Hopefully this will be a sign that we're going to see runabouts, etc. in future episodes. That would be kind of great. But yeah, it's action-packed, it's full of gusto, it's energetic, it's fun. I love the new Hideki variants, because they're not Hidekis strictly speaking, they're a little bit different. I do think when it starts to chase out of the asteroid field, it's a bit too thatting, personally. But having just done some CG where the scale of two things are so radically different, I do know that issue, because to show momentum in a small thing, you got to over-exaggerate. So I get it, but I certainly wish it was more of a capital ship flying after them. Would have been a bit more cool. But then everything comes with tea. The music gets epic, and then everything hard cuts. Even the camera
Jennifer
wiggle,
shows up.
even this stuff, music. That's a very good payoff moment. And boy, Jen has a wonderful attitude. Gotta love Jen, even though everyone hates her.
What do you do for training? Yoga? Oh, how original. But anyway, I love the little jab here at, well, not jab, but like reference to Gene Roddenberry. Look, I know we're not supposed to have interpersonal conflict, but I really hate that Endorian. It was just great line.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Jennifer is going to be like, Shut Up Jennifer is going to be the new Shut Up Wesley for the show, probably.
Aw.
So, well, need a punching bag. Oh my God, Jen. But yeah, then she resumes the program and she's doing her squats and stuff at the same time, which is great because it's leg day.
And this does remind me of my own fan film because it shows, and the Kardashian even mentions it. It shows there's this lack of threat level that Marina feels because obviously it's not real, and so she can do silly things that don't cognizantly make sense, but it all kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
That's pre-title. Goodness.
Yeah, 101 people watching, 63 likes, guys. We get those numbers up. Let's get up to 100 likes. And don't be afraid to super chat. Let us know your thoughts. Sure. Anything you noticed that we didn't. We did notice all the ships. Don't worry. We'll be talking about those at some point. So we just don't want to go into too much detail here today.
Yeah, and 30 minutes, one super chat. Quite worrying. So these are meant to be our big lives. Crossing fingers, Stuart. But yep, then we get tile sequence. As you said, we'll talk about this on a separate occasion. But there's a few cool things to talk about. Where I'll have to do my comparison renders, etc. But
yep, definitely some changes.
We cut to a ship shot, and they go all in on showing the ship, the Cerritos, at many angles. It's like the opposite of Discovery Season 1. It's like, yep, beauty, yep, from credits, beauty, yep, from credits, beauty, oh, beauty, beauty. It's like, yes, you want to see the ship? Yeah, well, we're going to give you the ship.
Mm-hmm. I'm really sick of my internet today, and there's nobody even here. There's nobody on the computer. God damn it. But yeah, the whole every trinket from every side mission thing, and the fact that the whole time Ransom's there and you don't even realize it until later. Like he's listening to this whole thing, and he asks about the away team going down was great. And I didn't even really notice that till the second time I watched it. I'm like, holy shit, he was there the whole time. Anyway, she asked to go on a side mission, Mariner. She wants to go down and remove some gunk and stuff from their industrial age. And Freeman's like, no. Starfleet doesn't prioritize aesthetics, but as your cool mom, sure. So, Matt Boardman, $5 about the ships. Red alert. We must discuss. Skeleton hands. LOL. Oh man.
Yes, all the hands of skeleton. No, it's a fun little. It's definitely odd. You can tell it's sort of his old hat now, and yeah, having Ransom be there. What can he do? He's a very dutiful officer, and so he's watching this like, oh god, because family is blood is thicker than water. So even though she is the most, the second most demoted officer in Starfleet. Oh no, I think she was the first most. I think that was one of the jokes in season 1. She's the most demoted officer in Starfleet, and she's outranking him, even though she's a bit of a git. But it's like, yeah. Okay. Although that said, the scene varies in its context because the fact is, what is she asking to do? She's asking to stay there when they have to leave right now, so she's not impeding the main mission. So that's first notch on the belt of positivity. Second, that's a purely selfless act she wants to do. Apart from the gratitude she'll personally get and the praise she'll get, okay, fine, they'll adore what she's done. But she wants to go clean up the city. Like, where's the ulterior motive there, really? That's a very nice, they show she's grown up a bit. This is like I want to do something nice. My issue then is that, while not explicitly against it, to go from they shouldn't do it to, but I'm the cool mum, that kind of shows the corruption value of being too close to any officer. And in fact, my boy Picard was right in not dating that lady once in TNG, because if that person asks something special, then you'll break your own captainly oath. Like, the fact that she's saying it right here, it's like, but you shouldn't be doing that. But I'm cool. That's just like peer pressure. But obviously this is the arc to overcome. So the corrosive nature of the relationship already kicks into gear here. Although not explicitly a bad thing to do. It's odd the framing.
Yeah, well, that's like conflict of interest. You shouldn't have like family members working for you, or be dating somebody under your command. 'Cause you're more reluctant to send them on a dangerous mission or give them special treatment. So yeah. I always thought that was kind of weird, that mother-daughter thing on the ship, but
although Tim Hans asks, wouldn't a 24th century Miranda class starship interior be refit with 24th century aesthetics, not like it's from the 23rd century? Answer, Stuart.
Well, it's a holodeck program, like we said. Maybe it's an STO thing where she can just pick whatever ship she wants, interior wise and exterior wise, and mix and match what she wants. Or it could just be that they updated the internals, but keep the displays the same. I mean, that's totally possible as well. And considering that they are the red shirt of the fleet, who knows how much work they put into them? Just slap on new nacelles and say, screw it. There you go. You're gonna get destroyed anyway. So no need for an extensive overhaul.
That's funny. Yeah, and not just that, but if they can have 3 Delta Flyers in the scene, it's a bit of fictitious fun. Yeah, I mean, she just presumably asked which one she liked best. Although it would have been nice to have seen at least the L cars be updated. Although and that's the problem though. Some people in the Trek community have said, the Marina class should have this era L cars rather than lower decks L cars or the TNG L cars. Even though, less people will notice that as a problem if it sticks with its canon counterpart. Even though it's clearly meant to be a refitted version. But holodeck makes everything better.
Yes. Mark Lawrence, though, $5. Yes. The people running the show know we want the ship prawn. I know you meant porn, but you put prawn. So
you could put ship porn. Ship pon far.
Ooh. There's a hashtag and a shirt. That's good. Anyway, but you have to wait every 7 years to look at ships. Then it's not. Anyway,
it's only once every 7 years you need to have a ship inside. Wait.
You need to get inside a ship. Yeah. What? Ozzy throws in $5.
Thank you.
Is it nut kicking time? Federation President Skeleton Hands. Oh yes, the nut kicking. Well, we get them hanging out, and you see one thing I noticed right away was Rutherford eating the pears and like having 4 or 5 pear rinds or cores on his, which I thought was very odd. But of course, it pays off in like a minute or two. And just this discussion, the fact they're using Boimler's bunk for like storage, and I remember how excited they were to get the new tricorders with the purple stripe. Now they got like a bag of them. 3D chessboard back there. Yeah, 3D chessboard back there. Batleth, a whole bunch of stuff. But I got. Maybe they assumed he'd be coming back. I don't know.
Just shows they're lazy with reassigning bunks.
Yeah.
I thought this is an interesting thing where Marina's putting her own stuff away, and she says, I zing the guy, well, I need to do a personal log. And that's an interesting way of saying, I want to remember this. Like, how often do you do personal logs then? I thought it was an interesting commentary on, when something interesting happens, they'll go and do a log just so it's there in the records, and then, or she extra braggy, so she needs to put in her logs.
Well, you're supposed to do them on a regular basis, but it's Mariner. I mean, even in season 1, Freeman asks Boimler, how many personal logs do you do a day? At least 5. She's like, well, that's excessive. So, I mean, yeah, I think Mariner's one that just doesn't do it very often at all. So
unless there are zingers in the air.
Yes.
But speaking of zinger that might be in the air tonight, or love in the air tonight, we have another date with last season's episode 1 romance for Rutherford, but this time 3rd date, because they didn't have a zombie apocalypse last time to force them to deal with a emergency airlock problem. Without such a problem, love can spring true, and he can now look past that.
Ensign Barnes, the Trill, which kind of upsets Tendi a little bit. She's like, wait a minute, no, you went on a date last year, it wasn't a good idea. Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if she actually said to him, we dated last year once. Like, what's she getting out of this? I mean, because you know what I mean. Like, she already dated him once. Why would she think anything's changed? Or was it him that shut her down last time? It might have been
Tendi.
No, the Ensign.
I think it's him that.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, it's him that shut her down because she didn't know the protocol for the airlock thing.
I shouldn't find it exciting.
I don't think we even. Yeah. I don't think we even saw it. Interestingly enough, with his new implant, he's kind of forgetful. He even heads the wrong way, and I think that's going to be an ongoing thing this season. Forgetting random little things here and there.
Well, his brain got scrambled.
Uh,
It's amazing. It's amazing.
oh,
He's back on duty after 3 months, having his face smashed off a little bit.
well, scrambled. I mean, Mariner puts it this way. I mean, his implant and part of his brain got ripped out, and of his head and put back in. So I mean, liking some pears is kind of eh.
And it's I this I think was so well acted by Tendi, the actress, when Mariner's you're right. So well, it's not that big an issue, and she goes in this big tirade about what the disease thing is. But the way she plays it is totally serious. But I don't know if she'd need to lie to Mariner just to say I want to be friends with him still. So this feels like she fully means it, and then backtracks later because she realizes she's going crazy. So I'm not really sure the motivation per se, because she feels fully genuine here.
Mm.
Do you know
She explains it later. He's changed his likes and dislikes on so many things that she just doesn't want to decide that she doesn't like her anymore.
No, I know, but the medical thing seems like her real reason here. And then later on
the synthetic memory degradation, yeah.
Yeah, the way she plays it is fully straight, and then later on she says, "No, I haven't really got that." But I think she does think that, and then maybe she scans him later or something.
Maybe
this is her first inclination. So there's a little mix there, but I would like to think that she's doctoring first and then going insane friend. Once the obvious answer, the obvious answer of your brain's going to be mushed. Once that's played out, then it's something else. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Chris.
I love the little
Have a good day.
I love the little display for SMD. Your opinions change, and your brain liquefies and melts out your nose. It's like, what? It's
a bit gross.
That can't be a thing.
And then Marina's like, anyway, you think Bournemouth got a big room? And then she brings her space shotgun bag out. Yep.
Eugene, though, puts in 2,000 rubles, so thank you so much, Eugene. Good to see you. Nice and fine episode. Seems there's more adrenaline. Everything's fast and energetic. I mean, compared to season 1, episode 1, that was a lot more fast-paced, especially as far as dialogue goes. So, I kind of disagree with that statement, man.
Well, I think what it seems to be the first and last episodes are more action-packed to try and grab people and have a bang.
Yeah.
So it's just last time, the end of the season, it was the big payoff to everything else, and it was the big we're learning everything. This one hasn't got quite as strong a main story or B story as the first episode, so I think they're going for a similar vibe. Just because Marina's way less full on this week, even though in theory she's similar, but I don't know. But yeah, still adrenaline-y. Now this is when I was very surprised, because the way even the way it's edited, she says, "Oh, I wonder how Boydman's doing," and cut to Titan. Obviously, that's it telegraphed as if they deleted a scene, and then it cuts to them. I was like, "Oh, he's on a planet." Oh, it's them again. I was very let down by this because it's such the obvious cutting point. I don't know why that wasn't.
Yeah. No, I thought the same thing first time watching it, for sure.
And second and third time, it feels the same. It's like, that's the moment. No. Okay.
But down on the planet, we got the unclaimed subspace channel directory. He's got to pick his number, his communication number. And I think it's hilarious. He's like, it doesn't matter. Just pick one. And then when people ask computer, get me in touch with the Gaussian leader. High leader. It'll just go to you. He's like, no, numbers are very important to us. You need a number with gravitas that will be important to our grandkids. It's like, okay, well, that's great. Get me more pads, Mariner. No, it's not her job. I love how she says, like, get Stevens to do it. He's like your little whipping boy anyway, or your little buddy. And ironically enough, Lieutenant Stevens, who looks like your dad's even pointed this out, and his name is Lieutenant Stevens. Your dad's name is Steven. I think that's hilarious.
And he's a moustache and no hair on top. It's insanity. Insanity. In a good way.
Yeah. Anything to say about the picking the number thing?
Oh, I thought that was one of the best parts of the episode, as weird as that sounds. Because it's again a super intimate, clever, well thought out element of the Trek universe that you've never considered, but it does what TOS does. It brings it down to literally a phone number, and it's even presented in a way that looks like a phone number, which is beautiful, and yet so varied that it shows that it doesn't really matter. There's no like universe, you know. But obviously for Ransom, this is presumably, you know, his 58th of this. You know, it is literally no big deal, and he knows like how it works. But for these guys, this is their official number. So I just love the context here, but I do appreciate, even though Ransom is let's move forward, he's super patient as well. He's that right balance of being a qualified, caring officer, and they are careful with that balance because he's theoretically the knucklehead that's a bit dumb, but he's actually not most of the time. He's that, you know, he can go to an extreme, but he still has that core, and so I appreciate his acting here to kind of keep in line. I just love the idea of what's your space phone number, but just like with all of our phones, we don't actually remember everyone's phone numbers. We just type them. I would just say, "Call mum." So I thought it was actually very, very clever. And then this is the commentary I like. This is the sort of little moment. They kind of had a little another joke in it, you know, to kind of amp it up a bit more, you know. But I thought it was a very good little beat.
Yeah. Then you got Marina using the I guess the sonic power washer to clean off the buildings, and I thought she was going to uncover something, and people were going to freak out about it, like, "Oh my God, we hate bright colors!" And it's like, "Oh, are you seeing this? We didn't know the ancients did this." I was like, "Oh, okay, this is going well."
Very sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. With the weird, funky whale thing.
I think this. Anyway. Like, so this is the moment I think the episode went off the rails, literally and figuratively. I think this was a great. Would have been nice if they'd seen some other. Maybe if she'd like seen a picture of herself and be like, "What? I was here 400 years ago," you know. But I didn't appreciate her reaction to Ransom about saying, you know, "Don't care, I'm here from the captain." It's like, he can still order you to do stuff like irrelevant, and you can see his frustration because she's been actually reasonably decent so far, but this is being a spoiled brat, and in front of everybody else that's seeing that. You know, this is like worse than Michael Burnham level disrespect, when normally she's better than Michael Burnham. So, you know, didn't do too well here. Again, she's doing something nice for people, and it's a mixed bag. But yeah, this is definitely one of her less good moments.
Yeah, for sure. But she power washes off some. Suck in some energy, and then zap out some energy and zap Ransom. And it's like, oh, okay. And I love how she says, "Hey, we got some sci-fi stuff going on here." I thought that made me laugh out loud because, I mean, even in the future, they're going to probably refer to things as sci-fi stuff. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I liked that, although the scene was so jarringly edited on purpose that joke didn't have time to breathe. And it goes from 0 to 100 very, very quickly, and you're left wondering, okay, this is clearly a warp-capable civilization because they're making second contact, right? So it's warp-capable, and yet they haven't dirtied off stuff in their Industrial Revolution, and yet they have this. They don't look very advanced on purpose, and yet they have this tower thing that just gets power from the sun and makes a god. You know, it's too many questions. You know,
maybe it needed to be activated by some kind of sonic,
possibly
wave, and she's using a sonic cleaner. So I mean, that's not explained though. So
I like that, although the way it glints is clearly the sun. But I do like that as a trigger moment.
It would make sense if it's something they worship and they do a specific chant that gets a certain resonance frequency. Boom, it activates. That'd be great. But again, never explained. But it would be a good explanation for it. So.
It's a god-making device. You know, it just feels so odd in this episode and just too cartoony. Although I do appreciate that Ransom actively runs towards Marina to get her out of the way. Yes. Again, she's being a victim every day for the last 3 months, and yet he's still right there helping. So I really like they help him out, and then he has a very Kirk look, you know.
Torn shirt and all. And poor Stevens is so worried about him. At Tiano, what they say, you got zapped by some kind of strange energy, and then the doctor beams down and it looks like some kind of strange energy. I don't know if I'm cutting out there. You freeze for a second, so I don't know if you're hearing me.
Hi, yeah.
doesn't answer my question. Are you hearing me while I'm still talking when you freeze?
No, not specifically. But I hear you right now.
Oh. I was just saying, I love that they refer to it twice as strange energy and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the name of the episode. I think that's great because technically it's all it is. So, and then what's strange energy? Well, it's a phenomenon that all sorts of physical and psychological effects. And there's a display of Gary Mitchell on the screen there, which is great.
And it's one of those things where they're just using the universe, you know?
Yeah.
Very effective.
It grants godlike powers, and Freeman's like, well, the Federation has a weird relationship with religion. So, but yeah, I mean, you don't think anything's going to happen right away, but instantly, Ransom goes all psycho. So, I must rise.
I did quite like the captain's little line of, or Marina's like, this is going so poor, and then the cat's like, nope, we don't wanna jump to conclusions. Let me do some scans first. And it's like, there's an apocalypse happening right now. So I love the funny pace of that. That was quite sweet.
And Thanasis says, I thought it was the sun. It got cleaned and the sun hit it and it got powered up. Yeah, but so when it's clean, it's always zapping people as they walk by to create all gods on this planet? It just makes no sense that it's the sun that did it. So I see what you're saying, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
And instantly, when I first heard the title, Strange Energies, I thought we were going to get the scene where he spins with the shooting out of his hands that we saw in the trailer. So, yay. I was worried about that. But I got to say, his power build-up and just his way he's doing things is very cool.
Just a bit abrupt is all. And I know obviously linking to the 60s tech, they couldn't obviously do this, but it feels too full on. It would have been nice if it built more slowly, or if he'd made the device zap him more, like every zap equals power increasing, and he uses that as a loophole. It's like asking Genie for more wishes. It's like, well, but I'll keep making it zap me. So it's a bit abrupt, but again, it's not important. It's a buffer to make Marina and the captain talk, and so because it's not actually an important storyline, it will not affect the character one iota. It feels hollow to me a bit, and just because Gary Mitchell, whatever, doesn't really give it, carte blanche. Although I do appreciate some of the gags. Benching trees is quite fun. I thought that was a good, a clever use of the stuff.
Yeah. 106 people watching with 96 likes. Hit like, guys. I want to get to 100 at least. I thought we'd have more than 100 people watching, but I mean, we're just being off Friday. I'm not too concerned about it. But if you're able to super chat, please consider doing so. It would help out. And
literally, is how we keep the lights on, and we having a hard time keeping the lights on right now. So, yeah. Although Canadian Spider-Man says, I like your channel, but cannot watch STD. I'm sorry. Well, this is STLD, so there you go. You can watch it.
Yeah, this is not Discovery, it's Lower Decks. Yeah, no, the whole Ransom still being himself and doing the workout thing. I think he's working. I thought that was awesome.
And his specific comment,
and the Admiral Freeman.
Well, a specific comment of saying, becoming a god is easy, staying a god is hard. It's like, what a stupid, but okay. Yeah, I get it. And briefly, before you jump onto the Admiral, what do you think of how much more the Doctor got this week to do?
I liked it.
Prominent.
Yeah, we didn't get much of the Doctor in season 1, which is a bit of a shame. Like, she's an interesting character. But yeah, I want to see more of her, so I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too. But yes, Admiral Freeman. Admiral
Freeman is hailing. She goes in, he calls her sweetheart, just checking in on the mission. And she's like, everything's fine, just having some chili for some reason. Then he calls her Carol Bear and says, you've been impressing some important people lately, keep it up, you're on track to get a promotion and get like a actual capital ship.
Exciting.
He refers specifically to their showdown with the Packlids as the reason. So
Well, she's the first one that found them, although it was the Titan that saved them. But no, she did good, and you know, I like the. Yeah, this is the season 2 arc for this character. Season 1 was, you know, spy on Marina for me, will you, Boimler? Ooh. Now it's keep everyone in line. Maybe you'll have a better job. You know, so I like that. And the way she comes in and says, "Get it done." It's like, you know, you saying that is the most redundant thing possible. When there's literally your second in command, God alien. It's like, what a silly comment. But that also shows the redundancy of a captain. She doesn't do anything herself, personally, self-situation, except talk and make orders. So what a captain does, but she's not sciencing, she's not engineering, she's not, you know what I mean? Captains do captainy things, and that's all she knows how to do. It's just a bit funny.
Well, the captain, all the department heads bring the ideas to the captain. Captain makes the decisions and the choices and goes from there. So, yeah, essentially. Then we get the Tendi Rutherford thing where she, like, zaps him with 100 little things and making up excuses. And I don't understand the whole riddle that she uses with the twins and the parents and the boat. He guesses the salty dog or whatever. And is that right? Yes. No. Anyway.
I could skip this entire scene. It wasn't good. It wasn't good for either character. That's the thing. It didn't make either character look good. It made Rutherford look a little bit silly. They doesn't know what's happening, and they made her look stupid. And the fact that, you know, she thumps him with a chair. I mean, that's just stupid. And then wakes him up with water. It's not fun to watch. And yeah, the riddle thing is dumb and not real. It's just a. Moving on. Sorry.
Yeah, but she loads her medical shotgun.
Now that's funner. That's a good ending to the scene. Definitely Terminator-esque.
Yeah. Anyway, skipping over that because it wasn't very great. Back on the planet.
Yeah, Stuart, sometimes I think our moon... I just wish it wasn't there. Sometimes I do wish that, you know?
Right? What about our museum of popular music?
I think it needs to be more twisted. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's true. The music or the building?
Both.
Oh, gotcha.
But I do appreciate that Marina, even through this insanity, she does, because she varies so drastically in how she approaches these things, she still does try and do the mum's wishes by making him make a choice of a phone number during a massive torrential escapade. But she is trying, and there's no fakeness there. I like that. Like, she does want to help her mum a lot. It's just not going to work. So I appreciate that little moment.
I love when he also creates his ransomites and turns everybody into just versions of him. It's like, okay.
It's dumb, but it kind of works. It's like, okay. But I like that.
Well, he's arrogant. He's like an arrogant guy, so he would want everybody to, I don't know.
Just makes you think of the Doctor Who episode where everyone becomes the master. But I do quite like the politician's response. He's like, hey, stop doing that to my constituents, which is such a specific way of saying that.
Yeah. And then poor Stevens is like, oh, please do me, sir. Please do me. No.
What a soundbite.
Right? Tenchi 2K7, $5. Thank you so much. I like the medical phaser rifle. Yes. We should do an episode on that.
That should be the name. I like that. Yeah, I call it the shotgun, but I like that phaser rifle. Yeah.
The medical venom distributor. There you go. Call it that. Anyway, the plan is, we're going to, well, the doctor tries to hyperspray him. He turns that into an ice cream cone.
Oh, that was kind of cute. And a new hyperspray design.
Yes, yeah. And the Mariner's like, well, he creates like a Mount Rushmore with his face on it first. And she's like, okay, be ready to beam him up in a minute when, I hit him with the thing.
Because that's going to work.
I know. But anyway, it doesn't work. She gets knocked on her ass. Kirk smushed him with a boulder. Okay. Didn't think that would go anywhere. And then he's like, Gary Mitchell was an ant. I am a lion. and then the whole head separating scene happens.
And he looks pretty good in those robes. I do like him.
Those robes are pretty cool. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, would you rather have a green hand coming at your ship, or a giant head of your commander?
Yeah.
Anywho.
I'm just going to go quick.
On date night.
You talk about the same. I'm just going to quickly grab some water because I'm out. But yes, date night! Mark II! Wait a moment.
Yes, with the Trill hottie. And he's like, sorry if I say anything weird, I'm just not used to my new implant. And she's like, yeah, it's okay. My sister, she got a symbiote, and, that's all she talks about, which is hilarious, actually, for a Trill. She also mentioned cetacean ops, and she's going to go swimming with some other girls, and asked him if he wants to join. He's like, yeah, well, my implant is waterproof, so I can swim all day. And that's great, because in the first episode of season 1, they also mentioned cetacean ops, and I think that's going to be a tease throughout all Lower Decks. Like, they're going to mention it multiple times, and we're never going to get a chance to see it, which would be frustrating. I personally wanted to see her in the swimsuit and see her swimming, but here we are. It never happens. I think it's going to be an ongoing thing. Weird for no Star Trek Sif reference for the Godhead. Well, that's true, actually. And later, he should have made a tombstone with, like, Mariner's name on it with a middle initial that's wrong. She's like, hey, wait a minute, that's not my middle initial. That would have been hilarious. She looks like she's going to shoot you. And Tendi fires, like, the medical goo on the wall. But, yeah, I mean, I'm in medical. I think he has SMD. I'm just saving his life. And I love how concerned his date gets. His date's like, what's an SMD? It's because it sounds like a STD, right? So I think that was hilarious. He's like, a cyborg thing. I'm fine. Anyway, she's like, I'll meet you up beside cetacean ops. I'm going to go change into my swimsuit. And unfortunately, we never see this. So, I mean, it's a shame, but it is what it is. So
that should have been the episode part 2.
Yeah, right. She gives up on the gun and then goes with the hypo sprays. She's double fisting it. She got a whole belt full of them with medical venom.
I think it's quite a funny offhand joke. But let me go back and give my thoughts then. I like the little date thing. It's meant to be reminiscent, of course. I liked the commentary on the Trill because it sometimes it isn't about your specialness. It's about you talking about your specialness again and again and again. So I liked that little dig at, like, calm down, just be you. Don't put in people's faces all the time. You don't need to. So I like that was a good sort of meta reference, and of course it reinforces that no, most Trill aren't joined. That's the whole point. So she's like, yeah, she is. Wow, I'm just this gal, talking to this boy, and it's all good. So that I thought was good. And yeah, the reaction of her, she's no concern at an Orion in a science jacket with a bandana. Like, she looks pretty intimidating.
With a bandolier, you said, Ben.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And all she can be is like, oh, I think your friend's gonna shoot you. Like, a little bit of concern, please. I get she's quite a chill character because even in Zombie Apocalypse she was chill. But I like that little caveat. I don't know why they don't know each other, because there isn't going to be more than sort of 300-400 people on the ship maximum. That's pushing it. I mean, yes, they're in different sections of the ship, but they've been here for a year. I would assume at least meet most people, give or take. Clearly, they have not shifts, off shifts together, otherwise they wouldn't be doing this date. So that was a little bit silly. Should have been like, oh hey. Like, it should have been more, I'll see you at poker on Friday. I'll see you then. That would be much funnier, I think, than meeting him. But I love the shotgun cocking, and it's that almost too silly, but I like the concept and the fact that nobody is remotely fussed. Like, it's so under the radar, even though it's so silly, which is a great parallel. And obviously, you're ill. Yeah, it's nothing. Okay, cool. Well, after you're fine, I'll see you later. It's like, good. It's like, wow, everyone's so chill here.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody ever bats an eyelash in
Nope.
the whole place. That's awesome.
Happens all the time.
He's like, you keep attacking me, even if I have this thing. You know what? And it gets to the point where she's like, I'll have to take your brain out of your skull and freeze it. It's like, what? I don't know. I just this whole thing with Tendi and Rutherford kind of bothered me. It wasn't super great.
No,
I don't know.
but when they don't give them much depth in the first season, it's, you know, like what are these things that she's giving him meant to do? Because you've got to assume that she expects to be able to hit him with a shotgun first. Okay, well, if there really isn't a disease thing, then what's it mean? Like it's so nebulous, and even having finished it, just like you know, it doesn't all connect properly. Don't say everything it's meant to be, but yeah, meh. But again, she runs by.
All right, and
she runs by the corridor, and again, no one bats an eyelid. So I like there was a few good juxtaposition moments for sure.
Yeah. And then we get the first coming of Ransom. Captain, there's a giant head approaching the ship.
Yep.
And you get to see some good maneuvering here. Like there's some good like space scenes, which are really great. So I like that. Meanwhile, the disembodied, or well, this is a disembodied head chasing them, but the body down on the planet, missing the head, is making gym equipment. He's creating his own Jack Utopia, which I thought was cool. And kind of hilarious. And all the Ransomites, of course, are in on that. You see them in the background multiple times, like working out and stuff with these different little kid bodies with the big head, and it's just
it's a well done, underplayed joke.
Yeah.
That each one of those people took time to put together and animate and etc. So it's nice to see for sure.
Yeah. And then the doctor's idea is, no, we should try to boost his power. It might overload his whatever.
Which is a common thing. No radicalness there. Makes sense.
Yeah. So Marina reports up, says, shoot him. The doctor says that it might overload him. So we have to actually see the... Oh, what?
Well, it's because the doctor says yes, because later on she'll complain about being her given the rule, but because it's... So I like that little... well, the doctor said so.
Well, the doctor even said, you got a better idea? And Marina's like, and turns around and tells her mom to do it because she has no better idea, I guess, at this point. We get to see an actual phaser fire from a phaser ring, which is cool.
Yeah, loads of new details which we'll talk about on our episode coming tomorrow.
Yes. But it actually boosts his powers, as is often the case. So... then
she apologizes.
And then he goes on about... not quite yet. This is where he says, I'm your first officer, and you just ignore me. And he just gets angrier. She doesn't apologize quite yet. Because then we have to cut.
I know you're right. She offers him to be also in charge of them, and it's like...
Yes.
Yeah,
you want to work with her.
That you already, surely.
Yeah. What does God need with the gym? That's funny. But then, unfortunately, we have to break away to the Rutherford Tindy thing, which is, we'll make it really quick here. He basically puts up a force field to stop her, and she... Meanwhile, while all this is happening, you see Ransom outside chewing on the nacelles and like flying by, and they're not even batting an eyelash about that. But she's like, you don't even have SMD. Your opinions change about so many things. I just didn't want you to forget that you liked me. I didn't want you to change your mind. He's like, oh, so you use scientific whatever to push your agenda? And she's like, yeah. He's like, that's okay. I would have done the same thing. So, yay, they made up.
Yeah. It's a good juxtaposition. I just wish it was a stronger emotional thing. And it makes a lot of sense, but it's just a bit, you can't really relate to her. If this was one of your friends trying to cut out your brain to stay your friend, you wouldn't be friends with her anymore. And luckily he's insane too, but it's just, you wouldn't want your friends doing this either. So it's like, But I like the force field, very interact, very logical, etc.
Yeah.
And then he goes Super Saiyan with the hair. Torpedoes, Stuart, we need torpedoes. And I was like, yes, we get to see torpedoes finally. And the mum's
We
like,
don't, though.
we don't know, because that's giving her orders. Which is like, well, it's a suggestion, but it's, the tensions are coming back up. Ain't going so well.
Then there's the whole, he says you don't like working with me. That's not right, is it, Mom? Well, yeah, it kind of is. I feel the same way.
But she does go straight to, like, defending their relationship even at the cost of her own personal feelings, which shows she, the love here is very genuine, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Tenchi 2K7, though, $5. Gotta go shortly. I give this episode a solid 7 out of 10 for Star Trek Lower Decks. So there you go. Thank you very much, Tenchi. Very much appreciated. And guys, 116 likes. Let's get up to at least 125. It's only 9 more. Hit that like button. Super chats are late, but I mean another 30. It's a good goal to shoot for. So a couple 5s, whatever, would be awesome. So consider doing that. We're almost actually done the episode, to be honest. So, like I said, there's not much to talk about in this one. Ransom calls them both fakers and gets all powered up and is actually pretty terrifying here, if I'm honest. Chewing on the front of the ship. You see the shields buckle to his bite, which is really kind of a neat feature.
I mean, I just think it's super impressive the ship can handle that. I was expecting to have far more damage, but they're taking a god being's how many hundreds of meters? Yeah, it's good for them, but I guess it's those new shield grid emitters, etc. And he certainly has multiple stages of power. He went Super Saiyan, then he went Super Saiyan Cloud, then Super Saiyan Cloud Energy Face. Yeah, it's very effective
Over
build.
9,000.
And the fact that he always keeps it grounded to why he disapproves of their relationship, like, is fun. Like, even though he's got god powers, it's all still revolves around the tiniest of issues, which is why I say it's not really about this, it's about the mother-daughter. This is just padding, which is weird, but it's true. God padding.
Yeah. I'm sorry, here's where we get the resolution of the Tendi thing, which I already talked about. But they make up, and right before they cut back to the space scene, it's also, don't date Barnes. She says as they're hugging, so... Is she jealous? Is she not? Does she just not like Barnes, not trust her? I don't know.
Yeah, which you took as more of a romantic thing, I believe you said.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I kind of got the vibe that she's interested in him, so... Yeah,
whereas I took it more as a... I'm your good friend and I don't like her in that way for you. Because she's a very clearly a very controlling friend, so she thinks she knows better. I mean, arguably though, she does know better in that she's known a year of his life on this ship. He doesn't. So she can help him through the mistakes he made last time. So there is an argument there, I suppose, but the way she's doing it is all wrong. And it's just because they're both very strange and weird that they can come together. But it's not... I've definitely got friends-only vibes, but both of them. Like, Rutherford clearly doesn't see her as a romance yet. But he's also just been reset, etc. So,
Yeah. Anyway... He grows hands now. He's more mad, I guess. Brace for grabbing.
And it is a good bit of tension here. It does feel like, oh dear. Boy, the way it slams that shit, that is an impressive looking moment. Very TOS. Good job.
And we get another hope for photon torpedoes. She's like, shoot them with the dang torpedoes already. And the doctor's like, I'm just going to go get a boulder.
My issue with that is that you have no evidence that more power is going to make a difference at this point. So this shows where Marina's skill set is lacking. She's wrong here. I mean, so is the mum. Like, negotiating. But of course they're dealing with a god being they knew about 14 minutes ago. So there's no shade on them for that. But I can't possibly see torpedoes being the difference and shorting him out. I don't. Not for a second is that played that way. So...
Well, it's the sci-fi trope of, oh, how are we going to stop these aliens? We have nuclear weapons, right? Yeah, nothing can withstand a nuclear weapon. All right, let's fire it at them. But they're advanced space tech. Nuclear weapons don't do anything like 70% of the time in those shows. So, yeah.
But what does do something to Stuart is she says he's a good officer, and that energizes him down.
Yeah, I'm not going to shoot at my friend anymore.
And it's nice, it's genuine, which I like. But Marina's argument there of it won't, like, just complimenting him forever won't work. He's got a big ego. You're gonna say something that'll trigger him, which does, and it's a very logical thing. I appreciate the mum's swap from being a professional captain to a. It's very sudden and very abrupt. It's like, whoa, but okay, I get it. Especially if she just wants to get her own new command. It's like, no, I'm a captain. You ain't no captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can end this with praise, and she just starts piling it on.
Work. And it is quite intimidating and dramatic when they almost get eaten. They play that moment of tension quite well. Until
his head starts to shrink. Well, he actually has quite a reaction to something.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts to, and she's like, was it when I said he was good on the guitar? Was that what did it? But no, it's Mariner on the planet kicking them in the nuts.
Yes.
Which, I mean, ow. So
very quick resolution though. I mean,
oh yes.
As a man, we understand this and we connect to it instantly. Of that would stop anybody. But it's not a very smart way of ending the storyline. But in the logic of a stupid plot, it's a stupid end. So it doesn't feel anticlimactic so much as just dumb. And I wish there was like even the boulder, ironically by itself, like if she injected that with something and the boulder, then like that would have been funner. Or you know what I mean. There's other stuff. Or if the cat put on some gloves and threw the boulder, and she says, "I hate playing fetch," and the boulder hit because she's a cat, not a dog, and the boulder hits him, and she says, "I've injected it with something." Like that would have been funnier. So just hitting balls is a very simple child joke, but again, it's a stupid situation. So it's like, okay, meh, I'll buy it, just not great.
I disagree about the boulder thing. I think just like setting the boulder on him is fine. The thing that turns powers off. I think that's hilarious.
Sure, but if that was more the central joke rather than just kicking him in the nuts, so you have to make it more funny. The boulder's fine. I do look quite like he pukes it out, and then he keeps going slightly psycho. So it's and you don't really think she's just enjoying it for the sake of it. So I like the balance there of she's not enjoying it. She doesn't like him. She's just, I've got to do it. So at least he's not gleefully causing massive pain. Although given the fact that his ribs are completely shattered and his, like he's basically killed by this boulder to the point of almost death in the terms of reality, and then the fact that the doctor can heal him shows that, okay, yes, a destroyed ball sack wouldn't really, you could heal that with medical science. So, not too much.
Yeah, I love how she says she kicked him in the neutral zone as well.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And he keeps coming to the power, but anyway, the boulder ends it, and everything gets reset back to normal.
Thank
Moon
goodness.
comes back. Yeah. And Stevens is all freaked out. Oh no, sir.
Your ribs got completely shattered. But luckily, we're a sci-fi show, and we cut back to it. His ripped self, his very ripped self is there. And I do like the low-key, I'm sorry, Captain, for the megalomaniacal god being destruction rampage. It's all
murder god thing.
It's okay, Jack. Like that's great. That's a very appropriate statement.
Yeah. And of course, Stevens sits by him and reads him Nightingale Woman.
Now, are there gay subtones here, subtext here with the guy?
No.
Okay.
Not to me anyway. I think it's more just a hero worship kind of thing. But who knows? Who knows?
Could be there.
Anyway, back in the ready room. How's Ransom? Oh, he's fine. Steven has left his sides. And then the whole unstoppable mommy-daughter team. Don't think we should really keep doing that. We'll just do the odd mission here and there together. All right, cool. There's a team ready to take me to Brig, isn't there? Yep.
It's cute. It is nice. You can see they've seen past their own bullshit. There's no genuine animosity. It's now just the job getting in the way of them. Although, as we saw, they can't be equals. But it's a very I hope other mothers and daughters would see a scene and be like, "Hey, that's cute. That's like I relate to this because it's a nice little, you know, you love your other half, well, other family member half, above all." No, it's nice.
And you think that's the end of the episode? Not so much. We haven't seen the Titan yet, but we get Mariner in prison in the brig. And apparently they fixed one of Rutherford's synaptic pathways. He no longer likes pears, so that's important.
And they're disgusting now, apparently. Like, oh, my God.
Yeah, F pears.
Actually, Mike was saying something on Twitter about someone... Obviously, that you're picking and choosing what you comment on. But saying that some people are going against him using the swear words, but bleeping them. What do you think about how he used the... Because there's like 3 swear words in it. Or your thoughts on how they did the swearing?
It's fine. I have no issues with it. It's funny. It's what the show's supposed to be, so... And the bleeping is funny.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I think it's better to have a bleeping swear than a real swear. You get almost all the same effect, but without actually having the swear word. So I really appreciate that for sure. I like it.
To go on to say, the only thing missing is Boy and Learn, but he's probably having the best time over on the Titan. That was his dream job. Cut to Boimler on the Titan screaming his head off because they're getting attacked by Pakled fighters.
I think they call him a really cool, weird name. But yes, it's almost a big fight, but the counterbalance of the Boimler versus whatever is a bit harsh. But the ship looks great and it's very dramatic. I don't like, though, as I said in our previous review, this makes no sense. I know it's a comedy, but it doesn't make sense. He says shields at 30%, shields up. No.
Yeah.
That's... I know it's his catchphrase, but that doesn't make any sense. You guys know better than to do that nonsensical moment. But it's all
going back to what the ships are called. They're called Pakled battle harpies.
Yes. And they dropped out of warp as well, so they're capable.
Sean O'Sullivan puts in €2, so thank you so much. Sam and Stewart at Trekyards. Stewart, his eyes open. Okay, thank you. But yeah, Riker seems a little out of character, especially being under attack. I don't know, just a thing.
Because I'm kind of assuming that he thinks there's no threat, in which case he's kind of playing. But shields under 30% is pretty serious. 30% is like almost
heading towards an anomaly. Yeah.
So it doesn't. The scene is juxtaposed, I think, ineffectively. I would have rather had a 3 or 4 minute scene with more stuff here. But it knows what it's trying to be. Like the absurdity of the two worlds. Like Boimler is a nobody, just wants the simple stuff. Or at least he came in fresh, didn't want to be in the deep end. This is too far out. But it doesn't connect to me personally. The Riker or the stuff, it all seems a bit daft. And if this is one of 3 Jonathan Frakes appearances, I'm like, well, that was a disappointing appearance in every degree possible. Like now he needs to be in 4 episodes. You know, like this is not a good appearance. So not a bad appearance, just it's a nothing appearance.
Yeah. Anyway, punch me a way out. Punching, sir. And then brace for gluonic disruption. Gluonic what? And then they do the whole... And the last line of dialogue from Riker, I couldn't make it out at all until I put on the subtitles, but it says... You didn't hear that, did you? Because I cut out. God damn it.
Hello.
Anyway, as his face is stretching, he's like, I love my job. So that's how it ends. Which is disappointing.
It's close to Riker line, but not in that context, I don't feel like. He can't think he's in danger, but then the scene has very little merit by itself. I don't know. But I'm hoping that next week starts exactly where it ends up, and maybe even they find the Cerritos or something. It won't, 100% won't, but yeah. Hopefully there's some cool stuff coming.
Yeah. All right, guys. 130 likes. Can we get 150? Can we get 20 more likes? That'd be awesome. I want to say at least another $50 in super chats if possible. This is the time of the day or review where you guys put in your scores out of 10 for Lower Decks season 2, 1 episode. So anyway, and how it compares out of 10 with season 1 as well.
Okay, cool. And
I'll read the super scores and yeah.
And send them at least $50, guys, because these are meant to be our big lives of the week coming back, and this is under half where we need to be. So $50 isn't even going to get us to our average, like a minimum average. So if 10 of you can put in 5 to say your scores, that'd help. But hopefully more people will join in next week, and our sub live.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will too. Just bit disheartening because we like Low Deck so much. It's like we hope to be a real.
Yeah.
Not that you guys don't like it, but it's like, oh, okay. But yes, putting our scores now. So for all Low Decks, is our score our enjoyment factor, and then out of 10 is the entire franchise, like how we compare it to everything else?
Yeah, cut out. You said is our score our enjoyment factor, and you froze, so I didn't hear the rest.
So our main score just the enjoyment factor out of 10, and the other one is how we compare it to the rest of the franchise of Low Decks so far?
Okay. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I think is a good way to do it. Yeah, for me, this episode, every time I start talking about it, I forget about the goddamn Titan scene at the end because it's so short. I really wish there would have been more of that. But like I said, I think the next episode is going to focus on that more extensively. So hopefully. This should be fine. Well, yeah. The Tendy Rutherford thing, didn't care for it. Was very short anyway, thankfully. So that's good. Yes, they're friends. Yay, we got that from season 1. Thank you. We didn't need to reiterate that, but okay. Thank you for all the new viewers out there, maybe. I don't know. As for the omnipotent God idea, it's been overdone in sci-fi and Star Trek particularly. And here it was all right. The reference to Gary Mitchell was nice. References to Gary Mitchell, I mean. But it was all right, and there weren't enough little references in this one or Easter eggs to really be fun. Yeah, the ships at the beginning were great. That whole Kardashian holodeck escape scene with the Miranda and seeing the interior and seeing all the other ships, that was fantastic. But that was like here's the fan service, or the we know what you want to see. Here it is. To start the episode off, and it was a great way to start off a season. I just wish it would have kind of carried that vibe through the whole episode, and it just kind of didn't for me. It just, at the end of the episode, it feels like it was just, everything was so short, and it just didn't feel like there was enough there. So hopefully that does change. We got some really great episodes in season 1, and yeah, this one's kind of a mediocre one. So my enjoyment factor for this, honestly, all right, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10 for that, because it is good, but it's not... The good parts make up for the boring parts, I think, in this one. Overall, compared to season 1, though, I'm just trying to remember all the episodes in season 1. It's very hard to do, but I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. Because I know there are a lot better episodes out there. But considering we see more of the Titan here, that's interesting. And then, like I said, that opening scene.
Is it though?
No.
I don't think it gets that credit for me. Seeing a thing doesn't make it add something,
Well, 6 out of 10 still.
Although Tim says definitely better first episode than season 1 premiere. Disagree massively. I thought that's far better for me. I think it does just a much better job. That actually does 2 full plots that come into one, introduces every character and introduces the ship, and it's a far better paced episode. But that's just me. I think from a writing perspective, like how much they cram in and how successfully. Here it's not a lot is crammed in. Like the fact that you said not a lot happens. Well, if you try to summarize episode 1, a lot happens. Same amount of time, and all new characters. So in theory, they should, whichever.
Yeah, so those are my scores. Guys, right now, Sean O'Sullivan has that last super chat slot. Does anybody want to scoop it from him? Even a couple bucks?
Yeah.
It's fine if this one's a little light. I mean,
well, little.
can't force anybody to super chat.
So. Oh no. So yeah, my closing thoughts, although I swapped to the thumbnail now, is like I said at the start, it's good but not amazing. They've done better ones, they've done worse ones. Feels like the epilogue to season 1 rather than the start off of season 2 / the reset button of season 1 into 2. But the mum stuff was good. You like the mum more after this episode, which after season 1 you didn't like her as much for a lot of it, so that's good. The Marina shifts so drastically between she does a good thing, she does an annoying thing, she does a bad thing. But that's sort of her character. Balances out okay here. Ransom still is good considering what he's given. Boimler gets nothing, obviously. The first scene's great, although minimal. I kind of hope we revisit that prison as a way of like showing her growth throughout the season. You know, I think that Justified needs some more stuff. And then Rutherford and Tendi cut it right out. Give us more time for everything else. It was underdeveloped and underwhelming and easily the least interesting stuff. Not bad, but I'll watch it once and forget about it. You know.
Yeah.
And doesn't make Tendi look good. Makes it look like a creepy friend that is obsessive and stalkery and you know will use violence to achieve, you know what I mean? It's a step back for that character, and given Rutherford's already been reset once, didn't add much to his character because he's reset and he was like season 1. So yeah, my scores, enjoyment factor, I think honestly for both I'll give it a 6. You know, it's good but not great. By no means the worst, but they've done a lot better. You know, you know, 1/3 of it is pretty strong but not amazing. 1/3 of it is medium, and 1/3 of it is less good. So it kind of averages out to pretty good but not amazing. And there really wasn't any single moment that I thought, boom, that grabbed me. Like lots in a third watch, there were lots of little lines that I liked. And briefly, before we jump out, though, and read the chat, I don't know about you, but I thought this episode wasn't funny at all. Like, I don't think I laughed once. I don't know if that was intentional to make it more drama-filled rather than comedy-filled, but I didn't think it was funny. And this is a comedy show, and I didn't laugh once. And normally I laugh a couple of times. I found a couple of things humorous internally, but nothing that got me to laugh. And I was a bit like, so it felt more flat to me because it wasn't as funny as I'm used to in Lower Decks. What do you think?
It's interesting because when you were saying that, I was scrolling through the episode in my brain thinking, was there anything funny that I laughed at? Well, he's working out his buys and tries.
Yeah, that was close.
Hilarious. I laughed at that. There might be one or two other ones that, and yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's not a funny one.
No.
And so if the drama's not as exciting or well done, then they haven't got, you know, the comedy to fall back on as much. I don't know if that was but it's a, you know, but they do some, it's a tricky one.
Yes.
Right, so let's see what you guys think. Stuart will read the Super Chat scores, I will read the non-Super Chat scores, and hopefully you've all put in your scores, because I would love to know what the Trekyards audience consensus is. Because I'd love to know.
Well, we got a few Super Chats. Thanks so much. Matt Boardman, $5. I love my job. Snipe. Thank you. Sergeant Montgomery,
Although
$5.
briefly, is he using the new medical phaser rifle to snipe with? I just want to know.
Maybe he's using the Romulan snipe to snipe with. Who knows? Sergeant Montgomery, $5. I love my snipe. LOL. OMF Goats puts in $5.
Thank you.
7 out of 10 for season 2. We've only had one in season 2, so looks like it's going to bring the ridiculousness. Yes. They really haven't missed a beat really from season 1, I don't think so. Scotchy Scotch puts in $5. Awesome. Yeah, true, but I literally spit out my iced tea when Rutherford said, fuck pears, though. Yes, that was another one that made me laugh. Yeah.
But they're definitely smaller gags.
Yes.
Yeah.
But more realistic, you could argue. You know, those are more like you'd say to your friends kind of thing. I don't know. All right, so we got only one super chatted score of 7 out of 10. So thank you so much for that. If anybody else wants to super chat a score, please consider doing so. But
And we are
yeah,
$1 away from at least one round number. If we can get a 20, that'd be great.
yeah.
So let's see what the non-super chat scores say, because I'd love to know. So we've got 7 out of 10, 6.5, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7, 10. Says Simon. 10 out of 10. If it was any of the other modern Trek, feels like tidying up the loose ends of season 1. Ah, okay, I understand. Yeah, fair enough. 6 out of 10 says funny when I commence. He says it has some funny moments. The references to Gary Mitchell was interesting, which is true. It was interesting and not overdone. However, it was not the strongest episode, and they could have picked the season premiere. 8 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Donnie says 10 out of 10 Starfleet Deltas for Strange Energies. 6 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Borden Gert says, by the way, I love your scout ship, you says Saya. Thank you. Very kind. It's got 5 out of 10 for lower decks. And 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 8. So pretty consistent. Pretty consistent.
Absolutely.
Now, I do.
I mean,
someone had said this jokes earlier in the chat. I think one thing would have made me laugh properly out loud would have been the Doctor saying to, when the civilian president guy said, "Is he building a gym?" If the Doctor said, "What does God need with a gym?"
Or, yeah, well, that would have been good. That would have been good.
I would have laughed at that, like deadpan,
or, damn it, Jim, we don't need a gym or something. I don't know, something like that would have been great too. But yeah, what would God need with a gym? Well, as you say that though, I also think that he should have made a tombstone for Mariner or something with a middle initial. She's like, that's not my middle initial. That would have been good too, because Gary Mitchell did that for Kirk with James R. Kirk. I don't know. I think that would have been funny. They had a few missed opportunities that I think would have been good, but yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So episode
Matt Foreman.
Oh.
$2. New lights around the shuttle bay. Snipe. Yes. We will talk about the differences to the ship in a future episode video. Stay tuned. Check out our content.
And Scott asks, will season 2 end before any new season of Star Trek starts up? Well, absolutely, because they're not going to run consecutively when it's a paid monthly service. So it'll be one will stop, either go straight in or wait, maybe two, maybe 4 weeks, and then next one will start. They wouldn't do it at the same time. That would not help anybody, not even YouTubers. But yes, and of course, check out tomorrow's episode on the Cerritos refit, and on Sunday for the Packard Fighter, and then small episodes throughout the week on various Trekyards topics that you guys know we're going to cover. Please do check those out, because we want to see your comments in the comment section, see you guys' thoughts, opinions, views. We do read the comments, we do interact with them as well, and we'd love the YouTube analytics to say, hey, they're making content again this regularly, put it out there, because we do make these videos to be seen by people, and so if you can help us out, then share, comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff would be good. We'd appreciate it.
Speaking of liking, 8 more likes get to 150.
Oh,
Let's
come
see
on.
If we can do it. 8 people have to hit like. Come on, you haven't done it. George Mangrum puts in $5. My score is 7 out of 9. Ha 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 ha. Wanted to see Barnes in her bikini in Cetacean Ops. You aren't alone. Like I said, I think Cetacean Ops is going to be an ongoing tease throughout all the lower decks. We're going to hear references to it because they mentioned it in episode 1 of season 1 as well. So, it would be cool if they reference it quite often and we never see it. I mean, would that be cool? It would be annoying, but I think it'd be a funny joke. So,
yeah, I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Cetacean Ops
at some point,
or just like a dolphin walking through the corridor
in like a suit.
Yeah, and just like, oh, there you go. Oh, hey Bob.
Hey Fred.
No F's given. That'd
be good. That'd be good. Yeah.
Bob the dolphin.
Only 3 likes away from 150, guys. Come on, 3 of you out there having it.
We're right there.
Three more likes to 150. Come on. Great way to end out the show.
And if you can, go back to our breakdown review, which is similar to this, although we do say different things actually, and we show different pictures. Go to that. It's almost 1,000 views. Post your thought, your comment or review in that comment as well. Help the analytics get that higher as well, because again, we make these things to be watched. So go to the Star Trek Lower Deck Season 2 Episode 1 spoiler review breakdown and put in your review score right after this live. So I want to see those comments. Boom.
Yeah, and we got 150 likes, 152 now, so that's awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Excellent.
So like you said, tune into all the new content we're going to be making. Don't miss any of it. Share it around and just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And join us next week for the live again. I think we're going to get more people week on week for these, honestly. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. So anyway, guys, that's it for us for now. Thank you for joining us. Until then, until next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley. And the dolphin's somewhere over there.
I don't.
Bye, guys.